and welcome back. Today we're making a cheesecake, like a real cheesecake, but with tofu instead of cheese. So first we need 100 grams of sugar, 300 grams of flour. I'm using wheat whole grain flour, only 300 grams, not more than that. And then we're gonna be mixing this very well, and we're gonna be adding 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 50 grams of oil, just plain oil or melted butter if you have any plant butter at hand. So we mix it until we make this sort of sandy mixture, and now we have to add the water. Depending on the flour we're using, we can use from 50 to 100 ml of water. Since I'm using whole grain wheat flour, I'm using 75 ml of water. If you're using oat flour, maybe you're gonna be needing a bit more. If you're using white flour, then you might need a bit less. So go slow on that, and you're supposed to have this dough that doesn't stick to the bowl or to your hands. That is the right spot. So now we have to put this into a baking mold. And I always like to put parchment at the bottom because that makes it very easy to slice it and without getting stuck on the mold. So I use parchment, and then I also oil the mold. So now it's time to press the dough against the mold with your fingers. You can also roll it out with a rolling pin, but I'm too lazy to do that, so I just use my fingers. And try to get this layer as thin as you can. You don't want any chunky layers of dough in your cheesecake. So just take your time. It might take a while. Listen to a nice podcast, listen to a nice video, and when you're done, you have to leave it to rest. And since you're already here, have you already subscribed to my channel? So if you want more videos like this in English, let me know in the comments so I can continue making them, because I make most of my content in Spanish because I'm from Chile. So if you want more videos like this, let me know. And well, when you finish, I always like to do this little rim with my thumbs, pressing down onto the bottom so I can contain the cheesecake within the dough, and it also looks much nicer. See? Much prettier like that. Huh? Ready! Now it's time to make the filling. So we need a whole lemon. We're gonna be using the Zest, so try to use an organic lemon that is unwaxed. And then we're also gonna be using the juice and pulp. So make sure you remove all the seeds before you use the juice and pulp. And also we're gonna be needing 300 ml of soy milk. It has to be soy, no almond nor oats, because we're gonna be basically dissolving the tofu in this. So we want to clear the tofu in soy milk. Plus 75 grams of fat. The fat I'm using is raw cashews. You can use any cashew butter or even peanut butter. And also 500 grams of firm tofu. So we have to blend this well. And this was the first time I made this recipe, so I didn't know how thick it was going to be. So I recommend you do these 3 first ingredients in a blender and then mix everything else by hand or with a hand mixer or a whisk, because you're gonna be adding 75 grams of sugar, the lemon juice and the lemon pulp, 2 sachets of vanilla sugar, 2 tablespoons of custard powder, and also 2 tablespoons of semolina powder. No, it's not powder, it's just semolina, and 2 tablespoons of chickpea flour. So these 3 elements, semolina, custard powder, and chickpea flour, are the ones that are gonna give us this texture, because cheesecakes are creamy, but they are not like gel. So we want to make this very soft texture that is creamy when you slice it and everything else. So it's very important that you use these 3 different elements. And the idea of semolina, which is sort of the secret ingredient in this recipe, comes from a German recipe called Quarkkuchen, which is a very traditional recipe that you make with semolina and some cheese. So I thought it would be very good for this. Then you add the zest of the lemon, mix well, and now we put everything in our little mold. We preheat the oven to 200 degrees Celsius, and then we bake it for 45 to 50 minutes at 175 degrees Celsius. So we have to leave it cool completely before we slice it and remove the ring. So try to run a knife through it so you don't break it when you remove this ring. And that is it. That's all the cheesecake. So you're good to go, and you're gonna see that this cheesecake is amazing. I know it has a lot of ingredients, but the idea is that we want to accomplish something that is very unseen in the plant kingdom, because we are using plant ingredients to replicate something that is made from dairy and eggs. So that is why we have this odd mix of ingredients, so it will just feel so much like a cheesecake, you can't even tell the difference. Actually, we gave this to my friend's grandma, and she was trying side to side a normal cheesecake and the vegan cheesecake, and she could not tell which one was which. So this is not a very sweet cheesecake because this is more inspired in the German version. So it's not like a New York style cheesecake. It's not that fatty or sweet. It's actually very light and fresh, more like a Quarkkuchen. So if you see, this is the texture we were going for, and we totally achieved it. So to serve it, use some berries or anything you have at hand or anything you love on cheesecake, and enjoy. Thank you so much for watching this recipe until the end. Let me know in the comments if you liked it, if you're making it, and if you want more of these type of recipes. Thank you. Bye-bye.